I, Lalhare Murari Nath Sahdev, re-welcome you students to my online class. We have completed many of the worksheets in the unit 2, the sentence. We have studied 2 chapters also from literature, the monkey trouble and the birdie will you pet. Now it's the time to know something about poetic device. When we have already studied one, birdie will you pet, now it's necessary to see some of the poetic devices to understand the poems which are to come next. Students, the body itself is an emblem, a synonym of the freedom in the chapter Body Will You Pet. That's why it's necessary that at least the very frequently used poetic devices must be well known to you. For this reason, today I propose to do some tools which have been or which are frequently used by the poets. Now, these poetic devices are necessary for you all because these devices are very important. They are tools in the hand of the poets, just like a mechanic can't do proper work without the tools. Similarly, a poet can't give perfect shape or perfect shapes to his thoughts, to his imaginations, to his ideas. For that reason, these are very important. These tools, these devices, poetic devices have another name also. They are called literary devices. But there is slight difference in the meaning poetic device or poetic devices and literary device and literary devices. Poetic device is confined only to poetry, while literary device is applicable to all kinds or all genres of literature. But here we have to understand these devices as the tools. These tools are very important, as I have already repeated earlier also, because they are able to present a kind of dramatic expressions. They have some kind of comparison and contrasts which T.S. Eliot has stated to be the main tools in the hands of the literary person or the writer himself or herself. He says comparison and contrast are two tools. Why? Because through them we come to appreciate any piece of work, whether it is a piece of poem or whether it is a piece of prose. That's why I have to tell you that these poetic devices are very valuable because they can maximize the meaning, minimize it, give a complete form, perfect shape. These devices can have different kinds of expressions, different kinds of nuances of the meaning, and for these reasons, these are very important. There are innumerable poetic devices, but I have to talk about only a few which are very superficial and very frequently and commonly used. I have selected 5 poetic devices to be discussed here. The first one is comparison. Comparison is a term which is used to show the equalness, the parity between two objects, two creatures, two things. That's what is the function of the comparison. Next is contrast. Contrast is another poetic device. This is used to show the stark differences between two objects, two things, two ideas. The third one is simile. Simile is that poetic device where we want to show the comparison but slightly in different way. We will discuss it in detail a bit, but later on. Let's see after the simile metaphor in short. Metaphor again is very much similar to simile, but there is slight difference between these two devices, simile and metaphor. And last is alliteration. Alliteration is that poetic device which is used to show the repetition of the similar sounds. These sounds may be in the initial of sequential words, or it may be possible that alliteration may have its place or places at different places in a line or in a sentence. Now let us see them in some detail. Now see what is comparison. Comparison is similarity between two objects. These objects are equal in physical and abstract appearance. One girl can be compared to another to show equality. There is identical situation for comparison. That is the precondition to comparison. Now next is contrast. It is that tool in the hand of the poet which evinces, which shows a stark difference between two objects. It shows to what extent and how a thing opposes the other in quality or quantity. One example for your understanding has been considered necessary. A parrot is green in body but red in beak. This is an example of it. Now next is simile. The term simile stands for similarity, but it is not a comparison. And even if it is a comparison, it is a partial comparison. A simile has partial equality between two objects. Parity between two girls cannot be a simile, but the serenity and beauty between a girl and a moon can be a simile. Simile has the following components in it. First of all, there should be two objects, and these two objects should have some similarity at some parts, not in complete whole. Slight or some similarity between two objects is the requirement for a comparison to be simile. Next is clarity of comparison. There must be a clear-cut comparison between two objects. But the objects must be dissimilar. Next is, in a simile, use of as or like is considered to be necessary, and these two words specify the simile. If a student remembers only this much, that as or like is necessary for a simile in a sentence or in an expression, then he will easily understand or point out which poetic device has been used in the line or in the expression. Now next is magnification of meaning. As or like is used to magnify the meaning. If I simply say he is a brave man, he is like a brave man, perhaps it won't be as clear as it should have been. If you want to magnify this type of expression, we will have to express it in some different way. If I say he is like a lion, then a clear-cut understanding will incur into our mind that he is the bravest of the persons. That's why what we find that a simile magnifies the meaning. Exactness of feeling. A simile expresses the accuracy of the feeling of a person. If we say he is like a lion, we want to say that his bravery is as much as the bravery a lion has, and perhaps the lion is the bravest, so we want to say accurately that the man is the bravest of all. That's why simile expresses exactness of feeling. And then it is a kind of indirect comparison. Somewhere we have direct comparison. For example, he is a lion. But here, as or like means we want to put this comparison indirectly. This is how a simile can be understood in short. Now next poetic device, which is again invariably used in the expressions of the writers, the poets, is metaphor. Metaphor is very much similar to simile, but there is slight difference between these two. However, what are its components, important elements? That's what you must see. First of all, presence of two objects. Two objects are very much needed. Next is some similarity between two objects. There should not be complete whole identicality, the complete whole similarity between two objects. Only there can be a parity between these two things at some small parts or small levels. If complete identicality, it means comparison. But when there is partial similarity, then this is metaphor. Next is implied or direct comparison. Here we find that the comparison is not clear like simile. As or like is used, so two objects get quite clear in the minds of the comparer or the man who makes the comparison, or even the person who reads the comparison. But in metaphor, comparison is implied. That's why one has to be a bit industrious to understand it. The next component of it is magnification of meaning. Just as we understood what magnification of meaning is in the simile, the same thing is here in metaphor also. And then this metaphor has dramatic effect. All on a sudden, some object comes in our mind which has some special effect, and that's what we have to understand it. Now see, now the next important literary device is another one. But before I come to alliteration, I want to tell you two examples for simile and metaphor, since they both are very much close to each other. But you can understand these two, how these two are slightly different from each other by these two examples. Suppose there is a sentence, Rashmi is as beautiful as the moon. We know it that Rashmi has two legs, two hands, one nose, one head, mouth, but the moon doesn't. That's why these two objects are dissimilar objects. But Rashmi has been compared to the moon in the sense that she has that fairness, that mildness, and that beauty of the moon in herself. So as has been used here. Like also can be used. Rashmi is like the moon. Now the same thing if I have to express as a metaphor, then I'll have to tell Rashmi is the moon. One more example you can take for your understanding. Lala Lajpat Rai was like a lion in the battlefield against the British. Now next one, which is different. Lala Lajpat Rai was a lion in the battlefield against the British. You find that in simile you find two clear objects, Lala Lajpat Rai and the lion. Here we say directly he was the lion. This is how at one place we find explicitness, clarity of the comparison, while at the other it is implied comparison. He was a lion. Even if we don't take the name, he was a lion of Punjab, if we say, we understand figuratively that the reference has been made to Lala Lajpat Rai. This is how we have to understand simile and metaphor. Now let us come to the next poetic device, and this is alliteration. Alliteration is repetition of the same sound. There are different kinds of alliterations. They are assonance, consonance, unvoiced. But here, in simple terms, as is the demand of your class, we have to understand in simple terms, simple expressions. This example has been a traditional example for alliteration. Beti bought bitter butter. Beti bought bitter butter. You are looking at that B sound is being repeated in all the four words. It's not necessary that all the words should have the same sound. Even if you get the same sound repeated twice, that will be an alliteration. So this is how you have to understand it. This alliteration is again very much important, because it provides the piece of writing lyricality, musicality, rhythmicality, and even a kind of pleasing appearance to any particular piece of composition. It is said that without alliteration we cannot consider any piece of writing to be proper alliteration, proper poetic composition. Just as a child starts writing the lines, the child starts with alliteration. All the rhymes, all the lyrics which have some musical effects, which have some pleasing quality, they are alliterative expressions, alliterative compositions. So this is how we can assert that alliteration is very important for any piece of poem, any piece of poem to be a poem proper. But this can be used somewhere in prose pieces also, and because of its presence, even the prose is considered to be poetic prose. We sometimes call musicalization of fiction, musicalization of prose, because either the same sound is used at many places, or sometimes some expressions, some ideas are repeated time and again. The autobiography of Pandit Nehru is very much musical, because he uses the same sounds more than once in many of his lines. This is how we can say that alliteration is again one of the very important devices in a literature, whether it is English literature or any other literature. One example from the autobiography written by Pandit Nehru is ever changing, ever flowing, it ever the same Ganga. Here you find a sound being repeated at many places. You will find this alliteration almost everywhere in his expression. That's why that piece of novel also can be said to be a poetic novel. Not exact poetic, but has a sense of poeticality in that piece of writing, that piece of prose, that piece of novel. So this is how we have to understand at least some of these poetic devices, which sometimes prove to be changing even the prose into poetry. This is what is the importance, or what are the importance of these literary devices. Students should be abreast of these important poetic devices to understand the expressions of the poets in general, and if they have some understanding of these devices, then they themselves can sometimes particularize a particular poet. So this is what we have to study here. In your next classes, you will definitely come across other poetic devices, and in this way you will enhance your understanding of the poem pieces of different kinds of writers belonging to different schools, different times, different personalities, and different ages. So let's stop here today and wait for the next video to be uploaded for you all. Have a good day. Thank you all.